All right, so we need to talk about creating great habits. And the reason we need to talk about that is because discipline doesn't work. You know yourself that by the end of a long day, when you've made decision after decision after decision, that if you've got to decide between doing something that doesn't have as good a payoff is a lot harder than doing something where you get this really instant rich reward. So I always like to think of it as if you walk in the front door and you could have a piece of fruit or a piece of chocolate, and you have to decide between the two, you're going to pick the piece of chocolate 9 times out of 10. And so this is about creating some habits and some structure and systems to help you reduce the number of choices that you make and make it much easier to do the thing that aligns with your goals. We want to set up a system and habits that create an environment where you get 1% better every day. And that means that when you start this, you're starting tiny. You're starting with something really small and really, really easy that you can build on and get momentum and put wins on the board so you start to feel good about it. Those are the fundamentals that underlie creating great habits. And then the system that you want to create is having an anchor. So that's when this happens, I will. You want a tiny action. So that is the smallest, easiest thing that you can do, 2 minutes or less, that will start to move you towards the bigger goal. And so you want whatever it is that you're doing to be aligned to this big future aspiration and goal that you have, but the first action's tiny. And then you want an instant payoff. You want an instant reward that you get in the moment that you've taken this tiny action. And so it might be that you get intrinsic feel good about yourself. It might be something like not feeling guilty for eating the chocolate and eating the fruit instead. It could be anything. And we'll talk a lot more about that as we continue through. So this is lesson 1. We've got 9 lessons and I'm going to break them down. You can watch them back to back or you can do them at your own pace. The last point I'll make here, I am not some sort of habit genius. This is based on the work of James Clear in Atomic Habits and BJ Fogg in Tiny Habits. And I would suggest that you could look at setting up one of your new habits to be reading one of those books because they'll really help to deepen the learning that you get through this process with me. This is really just to get you started.